This is the story of a family, but the truth is something you will find almost impossible to believe. From the outside, their home looked filled with peace and happiness. Lights glowed warmly in the evenings, children played in the yard, and the family gathered around the dinner table every night. To neighbors, they were the picture of perfection. But behind those walls lay a secret so powerful that when it finally surfaced, it shattered everything they thought they knew. They lived in a quiet neighborhood in Chicago, a modest house, simple yet full of life. Lavra, the mother, was a kind and hardworking woman. Michael, the father, was strict but always carried a charming smile in public. Together they were raising 3 children, the eldest daughter Emily, the middle child Sarah, and the youngest, a son named Daniel. Neighbors would often say, the Carters are the perfect family. But reality was far from perfect. One ordinary evening, Michael came home holding an old envelope. He went straight to his room, locked the door, and sat there for hours. Lavra, curious and concerned, peeked in through the slightly open door. She saw him clutching papers tightly, his face filled with anger and sorrow. Days passed, and Michael's behavior began to change. He grew quieter, stayed up late at night, and avoided his family. Lavra thought it was work stress. But the truth was darker. It was hidden inside that envelope. One afternoon, young Daniel wandered into his father's room while playing. He spotted the envelope lying on the desk and carried it to his mother. Lavra hesitated but eventually opened it. Inside were old letters. The letters were from a woman named Anna. Each letter repeated the same haunting message. Michael, you promised me that one day our son would have your name. How long will you keep hiding him? Laura's world collapsed. Michael, her husband, had another family? Another child? That night, Lavra confronted him. But Michael snapped. It's the past, Lavra. Don't bring it up again. But how could she ignore it? The doubt, the betrayal, it burned her heart. A few weeks later, the truth came knocking, literally. One evening, the doorbell rang. Lavra opened the door. Standing there was Anna, and beside her, a boy. He was about Daniel's age. His face, his eyes looked just like Michael's. Anna's voice was firm. Michael, enough hiding. This is your son. The entire household froze. Emily and Sarah stood in shock. Daniel screamed, That's a lie. My dad would never do this. But deep down, everyone knew the truth. The boy was unmistakably Michael's child. Word spread through the neighborhood like wildfire. The family that was once praised as perfect became the subject of gossip. At school, Emily, Sarah, and Daniel felt the sting of whispered rumors and cruel jokes. Michael tried to explain. He called it a mistake from his past. He begged Lavra to understand. But for Lavra, this wasn't just a mistake. It was years of trust broken in an instant. Late at night, Lavra cried silently in her room. She remembered the sacrifices she had made, the dreams she had built, only to discover her husband had hidden such a devastating truth. One day, Emily, the eldest, gathered the courage to confront her father. With tears in her eyes, she said, Dad, we gave you respect, we trusted you, but you broke us. If you want even a chance to save this family, you need to admit the truth. Stop pretending. Stop hiding. For the first time in years, Michael broke down in front of his children. His voice cracked as he confessed. Yes, he is my son. But confession didn't heal the wounds. The cracks in their hearts were too deep. Time passed, but the family was never the same. Lavra, though devastated, stood strong for her children. Emily and Sarah became her pillars of support. And Daniel, the youngest, who once idolized his father, carried scars that time could never erase. That one secret destroyed a home. It showed that lies may give temporary comfort, but when the truth surfaces, it can tear apart even the strongest bonds. And that is the story of the Carters, a family that looked perfect on the outside, but was shattered on the inside. If this story touched you, if it made you think about how fragile trust can be, then stay with us. Every week we share true tales just like this, stories that make you cry, shock you, and remind you of the value of honesty and love. So subscribe to our channel right now, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the next story. And before you leave, tell us in the comments what part of this story struck your heart the most. Your words give us the strength to keep sharing these unforgettable true tales. Because remember, every family has a story, but some stories leave a mark forever.